Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to checking out the YouTube version of Cinematic Autopsy. We've noticed a lot of you are watching and have not subscribed.
Yes.
So,
Please
it would,
subscribe.
yeah, before we begin, it would be wonderful if you guys could click on that little link right there, right, see where I'm pointing right there, and you'll notice that if you scroll down, you'll see subscribe. So subscribe to us, CL Squared Productions. You'll be able to see our videos, stuff.
We have lots of cool
our
content for you
trailers.
guys. You'll know everything
Yeah.
that we're up to in the
Exactly.
film world, whether we're talking about it or doing it.
Exactly. So let's give you 5 seconds to subscribe. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys soon. Hey, everybody. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. It's me. It's me, Charles D. Lincoln.
Yeah, and it's me, Chelsea LeSage. Welcome to...
Mocking my people, of course.
No, just one. Okay, the animated one.
Yes.
Welcome to Cinematic Autopsy. We're back.
Yes, the endless dirigible that is Cinematic Autopsy.
What's a dirigible?
So... that's an in joke between she and I.
It's an in joke that just became an in joke.
Yes. Basically, and it's I might as well just say it because people think it's a weird sex joke. So, yeah, it's basically just a balloon, Chelsea. It's a balloon that's big enough for more
dirges.
Yes, that's what it is. It's man, do you know how creepy that would be?
I want one.
Let's
write a movie about it.
Like just imagine like a blimp that had like just dirges playing from it.
That's like a bad omen for like a war coming or something.
Yeah. That's like psychological warfare shit you do to like fuck with the enemy.
Oh, and I watched the new episode of House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was. I'm without spoiling anything for those who've watched it. The dragon shit was amazing.
It was amazing. It was too much.
And also like it was pretty emotional, the shit that goes on in there, man.
I know. I was just so you want to know what's crazy is the first time I was watching it, I fell asleep with a half hour left, and that was the great half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to rewatch it, and I was all just like snuggling, and it was yesterday because yesterday was Gertrude's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Gertie.
Here, Gert, come here. Come here, big girl.
Oh my God, Gertrude.
She's like dead weight. She does not help.
Aw, hey, Gertie.
She's a birthday Gert. Yes, she is.
Hello, Gert.
Happy birthday to Gert. You are not a dragon, you are Gert. I love you, my Gert.
We love you, Gertie. We love you.
Yeah, so I was all happy, like snuggling the girls, and then that episode happened to me, and I'm taking it personally.
I'll tell you, man. Like the fact that those dragons were 100% CGI, that's amazing because they gave them even like little mannerisms animals have, and just like the head boop that Aegon gets, but like things like that is. It's like we talk a lot about like bad fonts or bad CG, and that's the exact opposite. That was like that team deserves to be congratulated for how fucking
they broke my heart though.
Yeah. Well, we won't spoil anything any further than that, but yeah.
But watch it.
But I will say, I was really happy to see the witch in there because I was like, I recognize her from somewhere, and she was Sheila the She-Wolf on Glow.
Right, I remember you posting on Facebook.
Yeah, so I was glad to see that like she's getting work, after that because Glow was one of those shows that was really unjustly canceled, like a season too early.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So so this week we're going to talk about the remake of Last House on the Left. We want to thank everyone who checked out last week's episode with our interview with Mark Scheffler.
Yeah, thank you again, Mark.
Yeah, and thanks to Mark for that. So yeah, we're going to talk about the remake this week.
Which I saw first before the original.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's
I did.
that's
I saw
very
it in theaters with my mother.
really.
Yep.
I know your mom's a fan of the original. What did she think of the remake?
She liked it a lot. She thought it was too disturbing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you know that if my mother said that she liked a horror movie, then it must be kind of like fucked up in a way.
yeah.
You know, my mother's very like she's not as picky as you are, and not in the same way at
Hmm.
all because she's not a filmmaker yet.
I
But
was still picky before I was a filmmaker.
that makes sense. But she's just as she's gotten older, she's like, it was okay talking about like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
You know, we all have our own opinion. So, but yeah, I saw it with my mommy. It was kind of like one of those movies that wasn't one of the classic horror movies, like a Stephen King movie or the original, even that kind of brought me into enjoying horror because I was a scary cat growing up.
Hmm.
A scary cat, yes, a
A
scary.
scary cat. Now I see. I imagine more like someone from like the fucking like 70s or something. Just being, yo, I was
I
I'm a
was a scary cat.
scary cat.
I was a
And then
scary cat.
like some fucking jazz starts playing in the background or something.
Yes.
Um,
And this episode is brought to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast
I am,
and cranberry juice.
yeah. And you know it's not red wine because I'm not vomiting.
Yes. I can't drink red wine anymore either.
Yeah. Well, I remember the last time I drank red wine was with you. And I remember
Really?
that was the day I threw up all over myself on the subway home. Because like that stuff just makes me so nauseous.
Yeah, it's the sulfates in it. It's disgusting. It's like
Mm.
so many people. I don't know. People love it, and I feel really bad whenever someone gives me a bottle of red wine because I
Hmm.
don't want to be like. There's an episode of The American Office where Pam gives Jan a housewarming present of a bottle of red wine, and Jan, who is realistically me in the show, the one I would play, she looks at it and she goes, "Thank you. This would be great to cook with." Like that's all red wine is good.
Which also just reminds me, did have you checked out the Agatha All Along trailer with Aubrey Plaza in the MCU?
No, no, I have
Oh,
not.
yeah, with Catherine, was it Catherine Hanna? Is that her? No, not Catherine Hanna. She's from Bikini Kill. Catherine, what was the name from WandaVision?
Hepburn.
No,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah, it's the show starring her and Mary Jo Krupp is in it, and what's her face? Aubrey Plaza. So
Amazing.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, I
So this was directed by Dennis Iliadis. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's
he
ILL
lies at this.
IADIS.
That's a cool name.
That sounds like Eliadis. I don't know. Starring Sarah Paxton as Mary Collinwood, Tony Goldwyn as Dr. John Collinwood, because I guess they decided to give the parents names this time.
Yes.
Monica Potter as Emma Collinwood, Garrett Dillahunt as Krug, Spencer Treat Clark as Justin, Ricky Lindholm as Sadie, Martha Mass Isaac as Paige, and Jesse Pinkman as Francis. Instead of calling him a weasel or Fred Podowski, he is Francis.
He's Francis. He's Jesse Pink. What's his name?
Yeah,
Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul. That's
Aaron Paul. There you go. Jesse Pinkman. So
Jesse Pinkman.
it's one of those things. Like
Yeah.
it's the opposite of like the Leonardo DiCaprio thing, where I can only look at Leonardo DiCaprio as Leonardo DiCaprio. I can never see Aaron Paul as Aaron Paul. I can only just see him as Jesse Pinkman.
Totally makes sense. Speaking
Which
of
is
Jesse Pinkman, Bryan Cranston, Your Honor just hit Netflix and it's so good. I like flew through the first season.
Yeah, I don't have a Netflix account, so
Oh,
yeah, I
boo.
have to ask someone to pay extra for me because I'm not going to pay for fucking an extra
Yeah,
the
totally.
fucking
I'm already doing it for my mom.
yeah. But yeah, like fucking it I can only look at him as Jesse Pinkman, which is actually very funny because there's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia that has Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul in it, and pretty much the whole idea of it is that Aaron Paul is actually secretly an evil genius who bullies Bryan Cranston around in the episode.
I love that.
And it's kind of like, he acts like fuck. They're basically just playing the other character from Breaking Bad in the episode,
That's amazing.
which is really really funny. And it's the Always Sunny in Philadelphia crew trying to like pitch them on something, and that's how they react to it.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
And
it's
then the cast of Last House on the Left shows up.
which one?
I don't know.
There
Both.
you go. There you go. Well, that would be a battle
What
royal
would a
then.
sequel be? The second to House, second to Last House.
The
on
Last
the
House
Left?
on the Right.
Yeah. The
There you
first
go.
house on the right.
Yes, exactly. Also, brief note for those of you who used to listen to us on when we do the Beyond the Bell podcast. Lana has just been released by AEW. I'm like, please don't let her go to WWE. Please, I don't want her to be on a show I have to watch.
Oh God.
So
Yeah, and it's nothing against. Again, we've said this on Beyond the Bell.
nothing against CJ Perry.
CJ
Just
Perry.
she is not a character I want to see.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
saw
just,
that. It came up in my algorithm, AEW. I was like, get off of my algorithm,
and
AEW.
I'm just like, fucking she's dating Damian Priest, so I'm like, oh, I hope they don't
What?
put her with Damian Priest. Yeah, she apparently broke up with her husband and is dating Damian Priest now.
Beat me to it.
Yeah. So, so let's go into Last House on the Left, opening up with some very sad, pensive music.
Yes, it is very sad.
And then it's not.
Woods.
I was going to say before the woods. I was going to say it's not lost on me that the logo is left aligned on the screen,
What is it?
meaning that it's on the left side of the screen. The logo.
Oh, like something very simple like that, but it's
Yeah.
very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the woods. I was gonna say the woods look they're so darkly lit. They almost look like a set.
Well, yeah, I said, God, the gaffers must have had like a terrible time. Like people lighting this shit must have sucked.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, I know forests can get that. The darkest place I've ever been was a forest. I remember being in a forest where I literally could not see my hand in front of my face.
Yeah.
But when you see it on film, it just looks like a set. Doesn't look like a real place.
I mean, do we know if they shot it on a set? Like, was that a stage or was that?
I assume it was a set. I mean, it's a forest. I mean, it would be weird for them to not. I mean, they show them driving outside the forest, so it'd be
But you
weird
think
to
that they
not
were,
just
like-
shoot while they're there.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying, do you think it's in a studio space or no? No, they
No,
didn't.
no.
No, that's crazy.
No.
There's way too much forest. Okay.
Yeah,
There's way too much forest.
yeah.
That there are a bunch of teenagers or
That's
kids.
that is. I was gonna say that's what waxing places are for. So
That's true. Speaking of.
yeah. So we have a guy telling an offensive joke about screwing chickens. I assume these are detectives.
Yes.
And there's a guy in the back who says he has to take a piss. They tell him to go fuck himself. I assume this is Krug.
He's jerking off. I thought he was jerking off.
No. He wasn't jerking off. He was
There's
just.
a hole in the floor, though.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a hole in the floor, right, that they all look through. Very exciting.
Yeah. Well, in the joke, there's a hole in the floor.
Yes. I wrote, guy has to pee. It's a cop car. No, wait, it's lesbians. They say, fuck you. It's almost like a haiku.
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to the joke, except I'm like, this is just a dumb, like, offensive,
That's you, Gertrude. I'm sorry.
Type of-
Gertrude was sneezing. Priority.
Aw.
Yes.
So they stop at a crane crossing, a crane crossing, and then the crane comes in, and it's like RoboCop lifting up the car. No,
Yes.
they stop at a train crossing, and Krug is praying to have a mayonnaise jar to pee in, which is very specific. That it'd be a mayonnaise jar and not just any other type of jar.
Yes.
You could pee in any type of jar, Krug.
Yeah, why did it have to be mayo?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question. He's got a weird mayo kick.
So while they're at the train stop, a jeep hits them from the side, and then a ninja comes out. And then the ninja is joined by someone from the Purge. And
Yes.
we see the detective is dead. He coughs and is shot in the face. And then the Purge guy takes off his mask to reveal that he's Jesse Pinkman.
Yes. The guy in the passenger seat is still alive. I think he says like saying like take my money. He's dying.
But that's after the ninja starts fooling around with Krug.
That's true.
And she's demanding, did I do good? And I assume this is Sadie.
Yes. Yes. I wonder why they kept certain names but got rid of other ones.
I don't know. I think it's weird. To me, I will say I did not like this version of Sadie.
Yeah.
This version of Sadie seemed like a very weak person.
Yeah, it's just like she's being like trafficked by them. Isn't really like a part of the gang as much.
Yeah, like she just spends her whole time like begging Krug for attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Sadie in the original felt like she was part of the gang. This Sadie feels like, some like junkie girl he picked up in a one-night stand who hasn't left.
It was very specific, Charles.
I mean, I I was, it's funny. I saw one of those things of what is a sentence a woman can say that a man doesn't want to hear. And I was very tempted to say, "Oh, you trust me enough to put your dick in me, but not to stay in your apartment when you're not here." And I'm like, but then I have to explain that whole story.
Oh,
so that's what that reminded me of. You put
your answer just should have been like, yes. The very yes.
Because that is a whole story.
That happened to Charles.
Yes.
Awful.
That's not a thing any man wants to hear, though, or any woman for that matter, especially a woman. You don't want to hear you trust me enough to put your dick in me.
I have a strap on.
Well, there you go.
You would a giant penis.
Yes. But yeah. So I do not like this version of Sadie. I think the actress is fine. But the
direction and the concept of
the direction and how they wrote her, I don't like at all. She just seems like a super weak person in this.
Yeah. That's not real. That's not Sadie.
Like the original just felt like someone you would not fuck with original Sadie.
No, you're like in original Sadie, you're like, yeah, she belongs with them.
Yeah.
Like that's a crew, that's a gang.
Yeah. Like this Sadie,
hooligans, I say.
This Sadie, I feel like this Sadie would be the perfect girlfriend for a certain person we both know. If you really think about it, I think that's exactly the type of woman he'd want in his life.
Yeah, makes sense. Does make sense.
So Krug kills the detective in the front seat. They take his money, and Sadie's all like asking him what he's seeing. They show him his daughter from his wallet. Picture in his wallet. His daughter isn't in his wallet. And tell him it's something he'll never see again.
Yes, it's really depressing.
Yeah.
I started talking about underwater. Is that next?
Well, yes, because we see a girl floating in a pool with beautiful music going over it.
Beautiful music. I want the original music. I'm sorry. I thought it was way better.
Yes, we need more David Hess telling us about the road leading to nowhere and like kazoos and shit.
I've been meaning to download his music. I can do that, right?
I couldn't find it on YouTube Music, and it's not on fucking Instagram when I wanted to put it when I was advertising our last episode. It was not on there.
I wonder if it's on Spotify or Apple Music or something.
Maybe.
It's a beautiful underwater shot too.
Mm-hmm. I'll say the cinematography in this movie is great.
It is. I wrote there are jump cuts already. Why? Do better. I don't remember what the jump cuts were. So this is someone's mom keeping time. Is what we're getting. And she says that you're too hard on yourself. It's time for a vacation. Something like that. And then we cut
because she's asking what her time was, and her mom won't tell her. Her mom's just like, "Oh, you were perfect."
My mother's done that when she's like taking count of how many hoops I've made and stuff like that.
I hate that though. I want people to tell me whether I'm getting better or not. I don't want someone just telling, "Oh, you're great." I think that's
No, totally.
counterproductive to the person trying to do better.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
I do. Mom, you're perfect. Um, um, as I'm getting older, I realize how much more I'm becoming like my mother, and I'm like, is this okay? Well, my mother's a better person than I am, so maybe it's
Yeah.
okay. um,
I
yeah,
wonder if if my dad's a better person than me.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. He liked a lot more people than I did, but I think he had a bigger ego than I did, believe it or not.
yeah, your ego isn't massive.
No, no.
No,
And I always thought he actually had a pretty big ego.
yeah,
Um and I don't, uh yeah, I don't know. I think in some ways he was a lot I think he was a lot nicer than I am.
hmm
But I think he also was, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question. I'd have to think
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Think on it.
So, doctor's
Okay.
office, guy with a bicycle accident. My God, my words today.
A bicycle
A
accident. I didn't
bicycle
know that.
accident.
So he's in the hospital. He has to have a blood transfusion. And he says you'll be back on the bike in no time, which is very exciting. And then we're back in the woods. Yes. There's some sort of letter of recommendation from mom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Where we discover that Emma is the mom, and she's on the phone while her daughter drives, and they're pumping up some awful music
I wrote she's got a cool mom though.
while the dad is snoring in the back seat.
Yes. Asking to turn off the radio. So they're making a turn now, and then it says Lake ends in the road, right? On a sign or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
I wrote it in all caps. It must be important. Um,
They drive
uh,
past the mailbox, and then we see the house on the right several times.
really?
Yes. I took note of what side the house was on.
Hey, they got the they got the intro logo right. um, why is it? That's so bad.
I don't think that they were paying attention to that, but they kept showing several times. I was noticing what side the house was on.
I feel like
I guess maybe it was cheaper to get a house. I guess they weren't paying attention to what side of when the location scout wasn't looking at what side of the house, what side of the street
it's
the
in
house
the
was on.
title of the movie.
I know. I would have. You know how fucking anal I am about that shit. I would have. Someone would have been like, "Oh, we have a house for free." I'm like, "Is it on the left side of the street?" you know?
Yeah, jeez, that's crazy. I didn't
Yeah,
pay attention to that. Well, I was already upset about these mysterious jump cuts. That I don't remember what they were that were happening the first like 5 minutes of
yeah. So they get out of the car. It's their vacation home, which is huge.
it.
And it turns out that the father's brother has been staying there.
Yes. Yeah, he was there last week. He promised to sleep in the guest house, but the kid wanted to stay in the guest house. Um,
Yeah.
there's photos all around the house. Like, is that a photo of like the son? Is he dead? Um, uh, oh, he always goes for gold, your big bro. So he's dead, right? Yes.
Yeah, I would. What I really want to talk about is there were, excuse me, there were a lot of camera angles in this film that I felt were more exploitative than the original for some reason.
For women, yeah,
Like the upskirt angle as she's going up the stairs.
yeah, yeah.
Like I felt that was a little gratuitous. Like she has the
hmm
bag behind her, but as she moves up, we get the upskirt.
Yeah. Well, it's essential, don't you know, for every movie,
You know.
especially the Pokemon movie.
I mean,
Pikachu!
was there upskirt shots in the Pokemon movie?
With my edits.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Um,
So she's
so
in a
the
boathouse.
well, yeah, I was gonna say we still haven't learned her name yet. I assumed it was Mary.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it is. I think
Yeah.
so. And she's in her bra and panties. Um, and I wrote, she says, nice dive. I can't dive.
Well,
I'm already thinking about myself while watching this movie.
Here's what I wanted to point out. I wrote she lays on the bed, she looks at a paper boat, and there's a Lifetime channel music going on here.
Yeah.
And the daughter is looking at a medallion from her brother, while the music is definitely a choice here. Like, the music is so epic for no reason whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
And like she sees people doing the boat thing in the water, and then she strips down to her underwear, jumps in the water, and the music is playing like she just won an Olympic fucking gold medal.
Well, it's because she was brave enough to jump in the water.
I guess.
Yeah. So,
I
yeah.
guess. I guess someone considered it foreshadowing or something.
Oh, maybe. Spoiler.
Yeah. So we see her silhouette as she showers. The shower curtain falls, which, in fairness, I think we've all encountered.
The shower curtain falling?
Have you ever been? You've never been to someone's place and like they have like a really poorly installed shower
Oh,
curtain that
like
just
the rod?
yeah, the rod that just falls the second
Oh,
you
yeah.
fucking touch it.
Yeah, totally. I try to not touch rods anymore.
You know, and
Except for Rod Stewart. Just
there you go. Rod Stewart as
okay.
Rod. There's a picture of Rod Stewart in like these little shorts where I don't know if it's just the picture, but he looks like he has the tiniest penis in like the fucking world.
Makes sense.
You know, um, so
Love you,
lots
Rod.
lots of intimate body shots as she dresses, and as I said, so much of this movie like at times feels pervier than the original.
Yeah, yeah. And again, she's supposed to be 17, right?
She is, but she looks about 14 in this movie.
Yeah.
They really got a young-looking actress to play Mary in this.
Mm-hmm.
So the microwave is broken, and this is going to come back. This is basically Chekhov's microwave, and this is one of my huge sources of annoyance with this. I will say I did not hate this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like it, but I didn't hate it either. It was like in the middle for me.
See, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now like getting to be so like I guess so close to the original, like because of you. I
Mm-hmm.
just like rewatching it now several times. I'm like, why'd you do that? Like I'm just find myself getting angry at stuff that I wasn't angry at when I first saw it.
Yeah.
You know.
I will say I am bothered by the idea, and because that's the thing my lawyer pointed out to me, no company would have a microwave that could still work with the door open. You are asking for so many class action lawsuits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Microwaves are purposely designed to that to be the one thing that could go wrong that they won't allow
Yeah.
because of just the amount of like little kids that could like reach in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or he told me he's like that was as a lawyer that infuriated him.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. It also just doesn't make sense that they would ever think to do that and that people wouldn't rebuttal it or have issue with it.
Yeah, I guess they were just like, well, it'll be a cool way for him to die if we just have his head get stuck in a microwave, but
Yeah.
it's not a way someone can actually die.
Yeah. 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 Totally. Unless it's broken for some reason.
You know.
What if that's how it was broken?
Well, that's what the movie is trying to say, yeah. Even
Yeah.
though, as he said, that would be such a microwave companies purposely make sure that's the one way it won't work if it's open.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like I said, how many little kids would get killed from doing that?
I feel like
How
I want
many?
to Google this.
How many? No, like I did look it up. I did look it up, and like it's not a thing that happened. Like how many pets would be put in? Like so many different things could go wrong.
Right.
You know, he said basically any company that would have that would be out of business within like a fucking month of releasing that microwave.
No, totally. It's like they were trying to do a play off of people sticking their head in
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, daughter wants to take the car and meet up with someone named Paige. Dad gives her cash, and mom makes her promise to call.
Yes. Dad throws her the keys. She's wearing her brother's necklace. Dad gives her money. Um, uh, her friend. She meets up with her friend at a yogurt stand at a general store. It's the girl from Superbad who's not Emma Stone.
I've never seen Superbad.
It's really dumb, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so her friend felt bad, Paige, that she didn't call when her brother died, and then we see this creepy guy stealing shit. And then I wrote, "Blonde doesn't smoke pot." What does that mean? Is that Mary? Did
Yeah,
she say
well,
that she
Paige
doesn't smoke
asks if
pot
she
because that's
smokes
something in
pot,
life?
and Mary says she doesn't anymore because she's in training.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And
So
here's where Paige
Justin.
does the introductions to the Justin, who is basically Junior.
Hmm.
I think he's a little too clean.
He is pretty clean.
He's like very clean looking. He doesn't look like he'd hang out with the rest of them.
Yeah, they're kind of a mismatched bunch in this one.
Yeah, yeah, and I also have to say I really don't like Paige compared to Phyllis. That's another character that they changed a lot.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I don't know. I don't know. Again, why could you not keep Phyllis? People are. It's a weird name, but people are still called Phyllis. I don't understand.
I get, in fairness with that, I've never met like a Gen Z. I've never met a millennial Phyllis.
No, me neither. They're all old.
I think that name died out around Gen X, basically.
Yeah.
So that I can almost understand, but it's
Now we
still
got
like,
Bonquifa.
what?
I tell you that one of my old roommates in college, she was a theater teacher in Glastonbury, Connecticut, in the summer times. A theater teacher, and she had someone drop off her kid the first day and say, "This is Bonquifa, Bon queef like a pussy fart."
Jesus fucking Christ.
Is what she said to her. I was like, "This is your child."
No, the worst one that reminded me. So for a while, I was hooking up with this nurse who was I don't know what do you call the department when you deal with like not just like a gynecologist, but women, but it's specifically women who had just given birth.
Oh, like in the maternity ward, like the
Yeah,
people.
but she had like the medical name for what that section was.
Oh, fuck me, I don't know what.
Obstetric. I don't know, like
Obstetrician?
maybe something like
I
that. Well,
don't
she was
know.
the nurse. She wasn't the doctor, but
Okay.
whatever that section would be called, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but she was in
Like
Paterson,
a
New Jersey.
postnatal something.
I think it might have been the obstetrics. I can't pronounce the fucking word.
Okay. So
Yeah.
something about Jersey. So the story is going nowhere good.
Well, yeah, it was in. I can never tell which is the really poor one. Is it Patterson or East Patterson? Whichever one's really poor.
I don't know anything about either of those places.
Okay. Because one of them is like a super rich neighborhood, and then the other one's like literally like the ghetto.
Oh, shitballs.
Yeah. But she said that there was a girl who came, like she told me so many stories of working in that ward. I
Oh,
mean, she
really?
told me about like she'd have to kick boyfriends out of like because she would come in there and a woman who literally just gave birth like last night would have her boyfriend fucking her in the room.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that? Also,
I,
that's not safe.
it's not safe. It's not, I mean, it could rip any stitches they might have done. I'm sure it can't feel good.
Hmm.
And the worst part is, according to her, she's like, you are actually most fertile, like directly after giving birth.
Weird.
So she said she would be like, well, I guess I'll see you in 9 months then.
Dang.
Yeah, like she said that would happen all the time. She'd have to kick boyfriends out of there who would just be like, you had the baby, let's fuck now. But the reason why I brought this up is she said that there was once someone who named a baby Amnesia.
Jesus Christ.
And when she asked why are you naming the baby that, and she said, because fuck if I can remember who her father is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That
So
person should not have a child.
no, I don't think so. But yeah. So I would assume
Okay.
Amnesia is probably like in their like 20s now or something. Like probably early late teens, early 20s now. Some girl named Amnesia
Wow.
who was named that because her mother could not remember who the father was.
Great. God. Ugh. That makes me upset. Keep talking about the movie. That makes me angry. I'm angry. Fucking Jersey.
Yeah, but yeah, no, she had so many stories about shit that happened there.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
We
Um.
should we should hang out with Bonquifa and Amnesia.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, at this point, they go back to the motel with Justin.
Yes, with Justin.
Yeah, and they notice that there's no signal, which is really shitty for a motel. But I have actually encountered. I didn't. I've encountered that in the Catskills.
Where there's no signal.
Yeah, we stayed. I shot something up there, a Netflix pilot, um,
Mhm.
where I was in the wardrobe department, and they paid for a. That's where Vonnie and I worked together on wardrobe that
Right,
week, and
right.
they paid for this like motel, hotel, whatever it was. It was basically a barn, but they made it into a hotel.
That's kind of cool.
Um,
That's nice.
and yeah, no, I remember Bonnie and I waking up at 6 a.m. to shower because if you didn't shower, if you weren't like the fourth or fifth person to shower, there'd be no hot water for the rest of the day.
Makes sense.
Because there was like a literal like fucking pump that they would have to get the water in with, and there was no signal whatsoever for like fucking 4 or 5 days we were up there. I had no signal.
Whoa. You need to
Yeah,
have Wi-Fi, people. That should be just a rule.
it
It should
was
be,
really not fun not being able to communicate with the outside world. But we did all bond a lot.
yeah, I bet. I bet.
Yeah, like you remember, I don't know if she was on any of the scenes that you did, but you remember I had like just a regular makeup artist, what was her name? Like Lenora or whatever. Yeah, she was the makeup artist on that shoot.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
That's cool.
I had
I
brought
want
her
to
in.
see it. When do I see it? Is it out yet? No.
I have not seen anything about it. I should probably write the producer and ask if anything ever came of it.
Yeah, totally.
But I remember I was John Lovitz was in it, and one of the cast members of Orange is the New Black, and then there was a guy from Broadway who I didn't remember his. I had never heard of him before, but all the theater kids were like, "Oh my God, it's so and so."
I'm like, Chelsea, just list off names. No, I'm not going to do that to you.
If I looked at the old call sheet, I could probably tell you what his name was.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I'll look after
I
we're
get
done.
comfortable. Why can't I get? I can't get comfy, Charles.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
I know, me too. That sucks.
If
All right.
if well, see, this is why next time you have to come here and do it so that we can be
You
like,
have those weird silk sheets that just go slippy slidey. I can't do that.
oh, I love my sheets. My sheets are
I know
awesome,
you, I know you do.
and they prevent split ends. Actually,
Do they?
yes, silk sheets
Yeah.
prevent split ends. I just cut my hair. I have to cut this side more. But I
Do you have
just cut
uneven hair right now?
what?
Do you have uneven hair right
Right
now?
now I do, but
You can't tell because you're wearing black and your
I
hair.
know. That's one of the things because I was just like I'll save some money, just cut it myself right now.
Mhm.
Um, Usually I get it cut when I go to the salon, but like rent is due, so I can't afford to go to the salon for a couple weeks. So like,
Yeah, I have split ends. I
yeah,
just light it up.
well, let's not recommend people do that. So back to the movie.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, Basically,
Oh,
at
there's
this,
blood on a $20 bill. I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's ominous music when Mary goes inside, and Justin and Paige are on the bed. Because they said they'd only be like a minute or two, and then Paige is in there like forever, apparently.
Right. Right. What is okay? They drove someone to the motor inn. I don't know. I remember I had questions on how they got from to the general store or something. I don't know.
I would assume that they drove in
Yeah, but you don't
Mary's
see it.
the car. Well, yeah, but you don't need to see it.
That's true.
Um, so they offer her some pot. Her phone rings, even though that there was no reception. and there's a storm coming in, and Mary asks if she can spend the night with Paige, and Mary says she'll be back first thing in the morning, and so Mom, of course, decides to whip out the champagne and fuck her annoyance away with Dad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dad says he does have a car because Mom's upset that they even let her leave. Uh, Mother has said she obviously has guilt. Why do I care about this woman's guilt? Okay. Um, so they're asking about the city to Justin or where he's from. He says he's from all over, and that his dad and his uncle move him around a lot. Uh, yeah. And then I didn't write anything in English. This is all me typing poorly. Wow. Okay. He's a Wukalok.
Yes, he is. That's exactly what
He's
he
a
is.
Wukalok. What?
A
Chill.
Wugalok. Yes.
He's
So
a Wukalok.
they ask where his mom is. She's dead. When did she die? Which is a weird question to ask someone when you first met them.
Where's your mom?
Yeah, and then when he says, "Oh, she's dead," like, well, what? When did she die? Like, dude, don't ask that shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And they have
Yeah,
enough death talk. She's perturbed.
yeah.
And
Mary talks about her brother dying a year
yeah,
ago, and his name was Ben.
and yes.
And Paige
Justin
suggests,
could be cute if he didn't have a Unibobber vibe. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
um,
Girls. I will say, girls really do like dressing up guys and stuff.
yeah,
That happens so many times in my teens and 20s, and you and I haven't done it that much because we actually just work in a business where we have to put on wardrobe all the time, so it's not as much fun.
yeah, no, totally, totally. I'm like, I will buy you something,
But
but
I
I'm not gonna
rem-
dress you up.
but I remember like in my teens and 20s how many times girls have like dressed me up in different clothes they had.
Oh, in their own clothes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't.
or even I mean their own clothes or clothes that like, like their brother's clothes or whatever, just clothes that they
Yeah.
had like lying around. Like so many times in my life girls have been like, "Oh my god, try this on, blah blah blah."
I mean, I guess I've done that. I've done that. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard, like you just said, we do this all the time. You have
Mhm.
to remember that people don't. So they
It's
enjoy
just
stuff like that.
it's just like how I've said I don't like costume parties anymore
No, I don't want to go to a costume party.
because it's
No.
like that just makes me feel like I'm going to work but not getting paid for it.
Yeah, no, totally. Unless I can dress as like Halloween's the only exception.
Mhm.
Yeah, Halloween doesn't count. That's just the greatest day of the year.
Yeah.
All the time.
So Krug, Jesse Pinkman, and Sadie comes back, and Sadie's first thing is to strip off her shirt.
Well, duh. What do you do? That's what I do.
Hmm.
Hmm. Um. Is nephew gonna introduce us? So they get introduced as Uncle Frank, Sadie, and my dad, is what they said.
Hmm.
You three have been having fun. It smells like. Oh, it's just us. And then something happens where he says, "My word or yours." What was
Uh, yeah, that's the best not to focus on that. That's such a minor detail.
okay? Copy.
Yeah,
I was like, that sounds ominous and
it's it's
dangerous.
it's literally just one word that Junior says, and Krug just
Uh,
starts interrogating him on, "Oh, you're using a big word. Did you get that from me?" Or it's completely irrelevant to the plot.
it's been a long week.
Yeah. I was also going to say Krug seems really clean cut for a prison uncle,
Hmm.
but then I wonder, am I the only one with a prison uncle? So,
And I don't know anyone who is a prison uncle.
yeah, I had a prison uncle, and he was not clean cut at all. In fact, he kind of looked like original flavor Krug.
So you're really upset that none of them look like your prison uncle.
Everyone in this film looks very. The only one who kind of looks like maybe Jesse Pinkman looks a little bit like fucking like skeevy a little bit, but at times I mean, maybe it's just his acting, but at the times he feels like he's literally just playing an evil version of Jesse Pinkman.
You're right. You're
Like it
right.
does, it doesn't feel like a separate character in this
Well,
film.
I haven't really seen him in very much else. I mean, like I know he is working.
Yeah,
I don't really see him in very much else.
I've seen him in a couple things, but he just seems like he's acting like Jesse in this.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's true.
So, Krug basically sarcastically says a makeover is the best thing he's ever heard. And so Sadie starts taking off Mary's sweater, and they suggest they drive Mary's car, and someone says fuck you, and someone else says later maybe. I didn't notice who said that.
I don't know either.
And then Krug just decides to randomly tell them that they've made the newspapers.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. What is they start going through their bags and they're basically things are getting dangerous now.
Yeah.
Right. We won't say anything to anyone. The girls say, "Oh, do you believe them, Frank?" Sadie doesn't believe them, and they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's holding. So who is it? Krug is holding one, and Francis.
Just say Jesse.
Jesse has a knife to her neck. Oh, I wrote that. I wrote Francis knife to neck. I mean Jesse.
Yes. There you go.
Mary, please, you can just don't hurt her. Let us go now. And they say they can't risk it. And what is it? Why did I write Martha? Who the fuck is Martha? So Mary's trying to get out through the window, and
Mm-hmm.
a cop is conveniently going by. She's at the window.
Yeah.
She smashes her phone and throws her head into the sink. Who does that to her? Somebody does that
Jesse
to her.
Pinkman.
Jesse Pinkman. Yes.
Yeah.
You're just rewriting Breaking Bad.
And then Krug is telling Justin he's got to put other people's needs ahead of his own. See, this line I did like, where he basically tells him, anything that happens to these girls is your fault now.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
I do like that line a lot.
Anything that happens. Oh, no. Wow, that's really
Yeah.
So all the cell phones get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just keep writing about Jesse Pinkman. I wrote a whole thing about seeing Aaron Paul as a bad guy, like Jesse Pinkman, but an actual bad guy, not like a Jesse Pinkman bad guy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
This is just the Jesse Pinkman story this is pre Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And this happened.
So, yeah, we cut to them driving out of the motel. He tells Justin to put his seatbelt on, which actually is really important when you're doing something illegal. People would be very surprised how many times you get caught for little things like that. Like if you're doing something big and illegal, you want to obey as many little laws as possible so that they don't notice you.
Yeah, well, of course, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, the other day I was pulling around the corner to my street and also my car isn't working this morning, so that's fun.
Mm.
I was pulling around the corner and I saw that there was a cop there, and I was just going from where my dogs get their nails trimmed, which is
Mm-hmm.
down the street. And there was a cop there, and I remember someone told me that if you're not buckled, which I wasn't, oops, I'm usually very good about it, but don't buckle in front of a cop because that draws more attention, which is
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like shifted my weight to the left and was like, put my hair right here. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
notice me. Don't,
Mm.
please. No. Terrified of being pulled over.
Yeah.
It happened and it's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. So Sadie and Jesse are basically checking out the ladies, and we get some very tight molestery close-ups.
Yeah, this is some sort of conspiracy between the director and the DP, I swear it. Like I'm like, is this actually a snuff film? Like what is happening?
Hmm.
This is bad. No, again, I did enjoy the movie. So and then they're talking about the seatbelt. That's why you said that. Who
Yeah,
is
so
Martha? I keep writing Martha. Is Martha the mother? That's Emma.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It might
Maybe
be
it's autocorrect.
it's one of the actual actresses' names, so you might be talking about her as an actress.
I don't think I'd be that smart.
So
We'll take it.
yeah, because Martha Mousesack plays Paige.
Okay.
So you are calling her by her
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So hold on one second. Tell you what, we're going to take a break and we're going to be right back, okay?
Yes.
All right. And we're back. We much
Are we?
urinating was done.
So much
We
irritated. You could just see the pain in my
the,
face.
the rivers have run yellow with the
They've run this weird green blue color that is Mountain Dew. Baja Blast.
Are you having an MRI tomorrow? What would you have like?
I want to become radioactive. No, I
Yes,
mean like
Jesus.
so. Quick side note about Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Right, first introduced into the scene by this rarely important restaurant called Taco Bell, and this and basically they started selling it at like Stop and Shops or like Christie's or whatever the fuck. Then my dad keeps buying it for my little sibling and I, and we're like, thanks, Dad. And then there's piles upon piles of cans of Mountain Dew Baja Blast in both of our fridges. So we're like, guess we have to drink it so we can like have milk and eggs and room for edible food in here.
Oh my God.
I was like, do I drop it off? Do I drop it off at like my local church or something? Like all this food and stuff that I donate. And I'm like, don't do that to homeless people.
Yeah, I
But
was
it
gonna
is
say, are you
delicious.
trying? Have you become like a Republican or just trying to kill the poor? Like what
I'm
is
trying to kill
going?
the poor in the name of
Yeah.
God.
Yes.
In the name of God. Sorry, my kids are doing weird things.
Project 2025 Chelsea.
Yes,
It's the
yes, that's me.
yes.
Yes.
I will say I think I'm responsible for the conspiracy theory that Mountain Dew makes you sterile.
You told me that before because I've
Yeah,
drank Mountain Dew in front of you before.
because I've heard people say that, and I had never heard anyone say that before I did. I said it as a joke when someone offered me Mountain Dew, and I was like, and you know me and my sense of humor, so just very seriously, I was like, no, I don't want any. That stuff makes you sterile.
Yeah, what's funny is that like of course this isn't your claim to fame, but it'd be funny if it was one of them because I heard that long before I met you.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I said this literally in like 1989 or something. So it would be hilarious if just this one random stupid middle school joke I made, this kid told his friend, "Oh man, I can't drink Mountain Dew; it makes you sterile," and then it just spread to where now there are people who actually believe that Mountain Dew makes you sterile. Hopefully,
Yeah,
the
me
Mountain
too.
Dew. Hopefully, the Mountain Dew Corporation does not sue me. It's
Hey,
actually
why do you think I'm drinking it?
there. You go. Chelsea loves Mountain Dew, even though it will make her sterile.
Only Baja Blast. Only Baja Blast.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is funny. We actually talked about Baja Blast on a previous episode, the one about Battlefield Earth, because they were drinking some weird glowing green shit.
Oh well, yep. This is
And I
it.
said it looked
Well,
like I said it looked like Ecto Cooler, and you said it looked like Baja Blast. So
Right, yep, yep. I stole this from the set
yep.
of Battlefield Earth. Yes.
So yeah. So where we left off, they were driving, and Mary was telling them to go left so they can get to Highway 43, and then Sadie was just being incredibly jealous of
Yep.
Mary.
Of Mary. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I said, I find her character a little bit pathetic, like just acting like that.
Are you talking about Sadie? Yeah.
Sadie, yeah.
Being jealous doesn't make any sense. I
Yeah.
mean, like, where in the original you're going and you have Sadie wanting new girls in order to stick
Mm-hmm.
with them. Like,
Yeah.
like her pussy's tired. Her pussy needs a break.
She's looking for some more, actually. She's
She wants more.
yep, you know.
We all do. It's fine.
No, there you go. I guess we'll just I'll kidnap some random girls to be the third person on our podcast.
No, no,
Just-
Charles, no, we're not doing that. No, bad Charles, very bad.
You're gonna have to write notes on this fucking film.
Is it like 1,000,000 degrees in your apartment right now?
It's not even 80 yet because my air conditioner would go on if it were 80, but
Right.
it's still in the 70s, and I do have a pillow on me to balance off the laptop.
Oh,
So
it's
the
not
pillow is
80.
probably what's making me all like hot right now.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, of course.
I'm very happy that one of our other actresses actually was very shocked to discover that I'm not 32 years old. So
We love that.
yes.
We love
That's
that.
that means I've been trying. My work has been paying off to not look like my age,
Yeah, you
which I
don't
shall not say. Um,
ever.
yes. So, yeah.
I know it.
At
For
this,
a
yes, you
hundred
do.
thousand dollars, I
Yes.
will tell you his age.
Yeah. For $100,000, I'll tell you my age. Um, so for 50, I'll tell you hers. So
You can
don't
Google mine. Mine comes
don't
up when you
say
Google
that.
me.
We want to get $50,000 by people
Oh
trying to.
yes, no, I
Yes.
am. You will never know.
Yes, exactly. Only if you give us 50,000, you can find out her age, and 100, you can find out mine. There you
Yes,
go. So,
yes.
Mary at this point pushes in the cigarette lighter and burns Sadie, which seems
That's kind of
ill-advised.
clever. I mean, that's clever. It's good to know that Mary has brains, but not enough brains to realize that that's a really bad idea.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good idea when you're like kidnapped by someone and you're in the back seat where child locks exist.
Yes,
That is a good thing to do if you are in the passenger seat.
that is true because you can just get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously this car does not have child locks because she tries to escape, and they get in a serious accident, which actually should probably cripple all of them.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking that. I was like, wow, good for them. Like, they must drink a lot of Baja Blast because they are fine.
Yes.
Fine.
And then Paige is the first to crawl out of the car, and I realize we know absolutely zero about her. And she's really just a whiny victim character, which is another change I hated from the original.
Yeah, there was no there's absolutely no character development whatsoever.
Yeah, Phyllis was kind of a badass in the original. Like,
She fought for herself, and you remember, like, you got the backstory about her, where in the original, the parents are just like, "Oh, I don't know if we like you hanging out with Phyllis because of XYZ about her family." Like, they
yeah,
get into backstory very quickly in dialogue that sticks. But this is just garbage.
yeah.
Yes, and it's no offense to the actors in this movie
No,
at all.
no. But but fucking Paige and Sadie are not well written characters in this.
Agreed.
Which, it's one of those things where I start wondering if maybe the writers just can't write women.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's evidently clear. I think.
Well, I mean, I don't have many complaints about Mary, but
No. But
Paige
like,
and Sadie, yeah, I think are horribly written female
they were like,
characters.
"Hey, you give us the upskirt shot, we'll write your dialogue good." That works for you, little girl. You want some kid. That's me as a white van driver.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I rescued a bird yesterday. A baby bird fell out of its nest, and I gave it food, and I helped it. And then I went to I went and I asked people who know about birds what to do, and they were like, "Put the bird back in the nest." And so I did. And then later in the day, it had fallen out and got run over.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I buried it. Anyway, it's my
Well, that took a dark turn.
It really did. Anyway, R.I.P. Tweety
Yeah,
and Shelley Duvall.
there you go. Oh, yeah, and rest in peace to Shelley Duvall.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a shame how dark the last few years of her life were.
yeah, yeah.
You
It's
know,
really sad. I'm really happy that I know people who got to work with her on her last movie,
that's
but it
true.
really just sucks. It really sucks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, so Paige basically she stands up and she's immediately hit by Krug, who seems fine, even though that was a really bad car accident.
Yeah, they're totally fine. It's like one of those movies where you see people like what is that movie that's on Shutter with the girl with the pink star things? It's kind of like a Spit on Your Grave, like not knockoff because it's really good, but
Yeah,
she falls off a cliff and lives. I mean, she's
I've never
seriously
seen it.
injured. It's really good, actually.
Yeah.
I'll get the name of it. I hate that I don't remember the name of it because I really loved it. She's seriously hurt, and she does a great job with
Hmm.
playing how she's hurt. But I'm like, no, you be dead. So yes, no, they get up and they are fine,
in
which is great.
fairness, in fairness, my old Australian publisher, not publisher, PR person, um, her stepdad was a fucking construction worker and fell off the top of the fucking building and managed to fucking survive falling like 10 floors.
How?
with just a dislocated shoulder.
Baja Blast.
I guess. Whatever the Australian, I guess maybe it's because every animal down there is trying to kill you. They're not like Sadie and Gert. They're actively murder animals down there. So you become a tougher person when you're used to those sort of like animals around
Maybe.
you all the time.
Yeah, maybe. Oh,
Like you helped a baby bird, and the baby bird didn't attempt to like eat your face or anything, which is what it would have done in Australia. you know?
I still want to go to Australia though. That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
I want to be eaten by a koala.
Well, there you go. You'll probably get gonorrhea from them too, because they are swarming with gonorrhea.
Well, I'll be dead. It won't matter.
There you go.
I'll be dead. It
So,
doesn't matter.
Jesse's nose is broken at this point. When Mary crawls out, he kicks her very hard in the stomach. Krug checks on Sadie, and she's upset that she has a burn on her temple.
Oh yeah, you burned my fucking face. I
Mhm.
love that. I did love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sadie attacks Mary, and then Paige hits her with a log and runs off, which is completely the opposite of defending her friend and is
True.
kind of cowardly and shitty.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And Justin's just crying, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I did love that. I love that he's crying. It makes me happy.
Oh my God! Wow, what I wrote here.
What did you write?
This is mean, and it's no slight on the actress, but it is on the direction. I realized Sadie's character is what would happen if Aubrey Plaza had no charisma.
Oh shit, that's brutal.
But it's true if you think about the character.
No, it's true. You're absolutely.
Yeah, it's like someone saw like April Ludgate or whatever, because that's the only character they probably had seen of her.
Yeah.
And tried to write that type of character, but didn't know how to give her character that presence, and didn't give the actress enough fucking direction to have it.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Paige hides in a tree because she's seen the Lord of the Rings movie, and it seems to work just as well as it did there, oddly. And then Paige hurts her ankle because she's determined to be you.
Yeah, I said she rose. I wrote she runs more and she falls because it's me in a horror movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote. Yeah.
It's interesting because like I don't generally fall in any of the horror movies.
No.
I've never fallen in a horror movie, but I fall in real life all the time.
Yeah, no, it's never a Chelsea LeSage character. It's Chelsea LeSage who will fall and hurt her ankle.
Yes.
So
that's funny.
She runs to a factory, but it is unfortunately not the Texas but it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre meat processing plant. And Sadie catches her as she hobbles. She's knocked out by Jesse. Pulls out a gun, and Sadie says no. Krug wants us to bring her back, as Sadie rips Paige's shirt.
Yeah, he rips her shirt off. It's being used to like tie her arms behind her back. And Justin's like deliberately not looking.
Yeah. Krug asks Justin if he's ready to be a man. He tells Justin to pick one or both.
I'm teaching you a lesson, son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he holds her down.
Well, they hold down Mary.
Yeah, they hold down Mary, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate this fucking shit. I think it was really just like the RAP scene that really killed me. Like in this one, I just thought it was really brutal.
Well, that's the thing is, once again, I feel like this scene was way more exploitative than the original.
Yeah. This was, I think, my first like scene of that nature that I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was kind of messed up by it.
Yeah, I would say.
Fuck you. It took me way too long. Baja Blast.
Yeah, there you go. A different type of Baja Blast. Anyway, Paige says you're pathetic, and where did that come from all of a sudden? I don't know if that's my note or if a character says that, but Krug stabs her. Jesse joins in, and Paige is choking on her own blood, and I'm just like, so that's Paige's entire character arc. Like, she is such a fucking nothing character in this, and I really feel bad for the actress being given this.
Yeah, that really sucks. Yeah, what was it? He stabs her in the back. And Krug. I wrote keg. Stabs her.
Kig.
Keg.
That's what they call him in Canada.
It's a keg of like some Schuppenheffer or something.
Yes.
I don't know. Yes. So
Yeah.
Mary crawls to Paige at this point, being told that it's okay. It's not as bad as it looks. And I'm like, don't tell her that. It is. So Krug throws her down, rips her pants off. Sadie holds her legs and takes her skirt off, calls her a liar. I don't know. It's really brutal. I'm like, how hard do we have to go into this rape scene?
Oh.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Jesse's telling Justin to stay right there. And here's, and what I thought about was about how the Martyrs remake really tried hard to keep the protagonist girl as pretty as possible.
They did.
And this is so much more effective because Mary is getting messy here. Mary looks like how someone would if you're throwing them in the dirt and fucking assaulting them, like.
Yes, you're not having a Sally and Chainsaw like pants episode type thing, or like
Yeah.
yeah.
Which but I would say like the Martyrs remake is so much more egregious than the pants, because
absolutely.
At least the pants we saw when we saw it in HD that they did get dirty. It just you didn't see it in standard definition.
Yep. That was
fucking
wild. That was like I'm still upset about that.
But like Martyrs, that they kept that girl looking like she was ready to do a fucking hair commercial.
She's there for like Tresemme, ooh la la, right there.
Yeah, and Mary at least gets dirty. Mary looks like she's going through shit, and it's so much more effective than let's keep her as pretty as possible the whole time.
That's an example of the original Martyrs. My mom watched it, and she was like, yeah, it was a good movie. It was like, wow, she liked something. That's great.
Yeah, no, Martyrs is amazing, though. That's why it's one of my top movies. So, Krug throws away the medal from Mary's brother Benaway, and Justin collects it literally just because, so it can be shown later.
Yeah, that's the only purpose.
Yeah. And I will say Krug is taking an awful long time to come in movie terms.
No, he is. He really is. I said, finally, Daddy. That's what I wrote.
And here's where I wrote, I think Krug is too good looking an actor for this character.
Yeah, he was hot as fuck.
They kind of just had like a model looking dude grow a beard.
But I thought David Hess was hot as fuck too.
Yeah, but David Hess looks like, David Hess is dead, so he can't, get angry at me saying that he looks like someone who might actually assault someone. But that's why they cast him, because he looked like the type of person who would like start with you on the subway or something,
It's true. Absolutely.
Yeah, like Krug looked like a guy who legitimately would like. I mean, you heard all the stories from Mark on what David was like,
I love that.
Yeah. So, after he comes, he says to Justin, "You missed out," and Sadie is upset, and Mary is saying, "I swim. I love to swim."
Yeah. And Krug says, "We're happy for you."
Yeah.
She hits something with him.
She hits him with a rock.
Okay, yes, and Jesse Pinkman shoots at her, and she runs through the woods.
Yeah.
Yes, she gets in the river in her yard, and they shoot at her in the river. Very reminiscent of the original.
Mm-hmm.
And bullets are flying while she's swimming, but one hits her, and she goes back down, takes her last breaths. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a beautiful shot. You got to give it that.
It's true. I wrote, where the fuck did they shoot this? I want to shoot something there.
Yeah, I can't. Well, Well, I mean, I'm sure you could shoot this literally anywhere with like a forest and a lake and anything. But it's the cinematography. Like, as much as I'll complain about how they wrote the women or the acting sometimes, cinematography, there's nothing to complain about.
No, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it starts to rain. Yeah. Sadie feels bad for some reason because she's written poorly.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was gonna say, I hate the depiction of Sadie in this. She's such a victim.
Yeah, she is. She is.
So we see Krug and company walking towards Mary's summer house while the parents are having wine. And here's where we go to Krug and company at the door saying there's been an accident. And the dad readjusts Jesse's nose.
Yeah. I wrote, "There's Tiger's been an accident."
I wrote Krug and Sadie talk like NPCs in a video game.
Yeah, that is true. They do. They do.
I didn't write specifically what they said, but I think it was such unnatural dialogue that it just sounded like townspeople you go up to in a game.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I love that they mentioned that they don't have the best health coverage. I love that Justin is offered hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked for a landline, call a tow truck, and and asked to be taken into town. And I love that Sadie asked about tacos. That's the only moment that she had me because I love tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, you never know. Do you do drugs? What Chelsea? Okay. So I'm commenting on the prosthetics are really good in this. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
nose specifically, like
Yeah.
the
The
prosthetics
nose.
are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a well done movie. It's just the really important parts are what were not as well done. Yeah. From a technical aspect, this is a great movie from like a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
It's just, the acting and the writing and all that like they don't hit. And, I'm not even gonna, go in about how it hits compared to the original, like just as a movie itself, because we haven't really been comparing it that much, except for Phyllis and Sadie.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't hit.
No, nothing lands. Like I feel like it's different enough where you don't even really see a ton of comparisons to the original. Like it's the same plot,
Yeah.
and there's some deaths that are similar and some of the names are the same, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we see Jesse getting his nose sewn, and lightning hits a power line outside while Sadie is asking, "How many houses do you have?" Krug and company are really bad at this.
At what? What do you mean?
At trying to fit in like as regular people.
Yeah, no, they clearly haven't they haven't been a part of society for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're not really smart about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't you cover this? I just got an important text.
Oh wow, very important.
Yeah, so why don't you just cover about how his dad used to take him to the lake when they were kids, which made me realize that that they're brothers, Francis, aka Jesse, and Krug.
It takes way too long. So they talk about how um uh well, I guess Sadie asked if they're on a vacation. They don't answer, and Krug talks about how his dad, took him and Francis on hikes to a lake, fishing and camping, and that now that he's gone, the memories are all that he has left of him. And he's trying to impart and do the same thing for Justin. I'm like, you lying sack of fucking shit. And was it Mary that thinks it's important to make that?
Well, Mary's dead, so Mary isn't doing anything.
Oh right shit, no. Just tell me I'm pretty, please.
Yeah, you're pretty. There you go. You're very pretty. Yeah. It's the mom who says that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Dad's in the rain, turn on the generator, and Dad comes back and asks Sadie to hold the flashlight while he fixes the nose. And then there's hot chocolate, and Dad suggests they all sleep here that night in the guest house, of course, so that they can, notice that Mary lives there. And here's where I did notice that Jesse is doing a couple of my dad's mannerisms.
Really?
And I wondered if he had watched the original to get pointers. Because I said that he seems to be the only one who realizes what movie he's in.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So the last door on the right is where the bathroom is, which I guess is what the sequel name would be. So
don't do that.
Yeah. So Justin goes in the kitchen. We see pictures of Mary in the fridge. Justin has a panic attack on seeing Mary's pictures. hides in the bathroom. Krug tells him not to fuck up again. He plays with the metal. Krug hears Justin hears Krug telling a story, and then Justin leaves the metal with the cup for no reason other than to move the plot along.
Yeah, there was no motivation behind that whatsoever.
Yeah, and here's where we discover Mary is actually alive and swimming to shore.
Yes. So Mary is alive. Very exciting.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Mom shows him the guest house, says if we need anything, please don't hesitate to come over. While Mary is almost at her parents' house, and I guess the rain would be good to keep her wounds clean.
keep the wounds clean and to cover foot tracks just in case they're by her in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh. And the
So,
mom tells her to lie down, or is she telling Justin or telling Mary to lie
well,
down?
I was gonna. Well, yeah. I'll get to where that is. So, and then you can cover from there. So, Dad, basically suggests they lock the door, but then he hears a knocking at his door, and it turns out it's the rocking chair in the rain. But Mary has been using it to hit the door, and it turns out that she got shot in the shoulder.
Okay, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Um, uh, tells her to lie down, sleep. Oh, I'm far behind. I
Oh,
took
okay.
way too many notes on this. I'm like 4 pages behind.
Oh, okay. Well, they're doing CPR on her while Sadie is showering, and Dr. Dad is doing Dr. Dad things. And Mom
call
goes
my father is Dr.
Dr. Dad. So,
Dr. Dad.
Mom is grabbing a lot of alcohol. She sees the medallion on the counter that Justin left for no reason other than for the next part of the movie to happen.
Do they not have cell phones?
Yeah. What?
Do they not have cell phones?
Remember, there's no reception there because of
Right.
whatever's going on.
So the Wi-Fi would have to be down too.
Yeah, so Mom figures out that Krug and company are the bad guys. Dad is feeling up Mary, and that's when he sees that she's been raped. I guess he's following the bruises or whatever, but it really just looks like he's feeling her up.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Okay,
Yeah.
baby, I got you, sweetie. So they get it. Yeah, it's bad. I do like I love Sadie in the shower with the mascara going down her face. That made me really happy. I was like that was one of those moments where I was like, okay, we'll get this little twinge of a remnant of something where Sadie could believably be a part of this group, but that's pretty much it.
So how do you normally wipe your mascara off? You go in the shower, or how do you do it?
Yeah, because you can.
That's how. When I used to wear makeup, I would wash it off before showering.
Yeah, makeup wipe and then see. I hate mascara so much that I only put it on if I had to, and I had to for an audition this morning. But sometimes I'll forget. I'll just forget that it's on, and then I'll get out of the shower, and it'll be just like raccoon. Yeah, don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Yeah. So
they turn her over, right? They have her on the couch at this point.
Yeah.
The table. I don't.
It's not important.
It's not.
Yeah. So
it's important to me. So the dad has to stab her in order to let a little air out of her. So,
yeah. Isn't that crazy how that works?
That is nuts. Right.
That sometimes like the fucking throat isn't working, so you have to like poke a hole somewhere else to get air.
Yeah. So it's in order to equalize the pressure. Is what. And they're asking who did this to you, and she becomes stable and she goes to sleep. Yes.
So
the kid.
They figure out that Justin was involved, and Dad says we got to be ready for anything. We have to be ready to do anything. You hear me? Because the nearest house is 6 miles from here,
and we don't have a car.
Yeah. So they're going to transport her by boat.
Yes, because that makes sense. So he wants to secure the tube. Kruger's getting into bed, and there's a gun on the nightstand.
Yeah. And Justin's staring at it. This is where I wrote, this movie feels very long.
Yeah, no, it is very long. Like, I can't believe that I took like 30 pages of notes for this movie. Remind me not to do that again.
Yeah. So Dad goes to the back, and because, as I said, all these films are wrapping up here, he reveals the floaty plane from the Wicker Man. And
Christ.
So, Justin decides to get up and get the gun. Dad can't find the boat keys. He rushes to the garage. Mom looks all over the kitchen. Jesse comes in. He says he came for cold beer.
Might knock me out, do you mind? He sees the picture of Mary. It stops him. She like improvises, tries to like, get him around.
Yeah.
A beer's not going to cut it on a nut like this, night like this, and not a nut like this. Hey, night like this anyway.
Busted.
What's gonna cut it? Maybe a more adult beverage. So he wants whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he doesn't have any nose paint anymore. He said, John, polish off the whiskey. So she's flirting, is a wine drinker, blah, blah, blah. Let's go find one. So she's leading him off. Yes.
That's where they get the $4 bottle of wine that the brother left at the beginning of the film.
Yes. Very important. Should I just chug it? Yeah. So she's gonna pour it for them. And this was an issue I had, is that like if it were a guest house, it wouldn't have that many like pictures of the family.
Okay.
No, I was just like, no, because you don't want people to feel, that's the whole point, I think, of like a guest house attached to your house on the lake, is to, I mean, maybe a couple, but there was way too much. Way too much of like shit that made it to like Mary's room or Emma's room or something like that.
Yeah.
So Dad's looking in the boathouse for tools. Jesse Pinkman thanks Emma for the hospitality. She says it's the least we could do. Dad finds a wrench and a hammer. And Francis, Jesse Pinkman, notice I have to, every time I say Francis, I feel like you have to clarify now. He noticed that he has a shotgun. Does he use it much? So things are getting not so good. Even more not so good.
Yeah.
And there's a fire that needs stoking. What did I write? I wrote something about Middle America. I have no idea. But so Jesse Pinkman goes to the living room and he sees Mary on the table. See,
there you go.
The head with the wine bottle, and it gets his neck. And then she stabs him with the kitchen knife just below the heart. And they put her on the dining room table. Put Mary on the dining room table and says, "Bitch, who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
Very excited.
Dad smashes him with the wine bottle, and Jesse throws the coffee maker at him. Dad re-breaks his nose, and they tussle.
Yeah.
And I wrote, "This is really not as cool as him getting his dick bitten off."
No, not at all.
No.
People are scared. People are scared to make film like that.
Yeah, they drown him in the sink together as a couple, though, which I guess is a nice romantic thing couples can do together.
Yes.
It's also soapy, so that should be noted. And they turn on the food disposal with his arm in it, and he screams a lot, and Dad bashes his head in with the hammer. Mom gags after seeing this, and then I notice there's 27 minutes left in the fucking movie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And I'm like, it definitely feels like there should not be a full half hour to go. No, I'm a champion of excess, but sometimes less is truly more, people.
I feel like that's the quote I'm going to put on your tombstone. I'm the champion of excess, but sometimes I feel like less is really more, people.
I still prefer I am why we can't have nice things.
Yes, fine. You can have both. One on each side.
Yes. Well, that's excess. There you go.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
You have to make it look like a movie poster with like 900 fucking epitaphs on it instead of just one.
Can we put the laurel? We'll put laurels around it too, with all of your qualities.
Yes, exactly. Like fucking 50 quotes from me throughout my life, and
great idea.
Different festivals I've won, and just like and like reviews other people have said about me, and just
perfect.
It'll be great. I took my blazer off because I am fucking sweating like a pig, by the way.
Yeah, and I have to pee again fairly badly, but
okay.
27 minutes. Yes, there's more. So let me run and pee. I have an overactive bladder.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna take a break, and then we'll be for the final quarter of Last House. All right.
The last quarter of the right house.
That's right. All right. Hello, everybody. It's us.
Oh, hello.
We're back.
We're
back in black.
Very tiny, teeny tiny.
I hit the sack. Been too long. I'm glad to be back. Let loose from the noose that's kept me hanging about. Been looking at the sky because it's getting me high. Forget the hearse, because I'm never gonna die. Got 9 lives, cat's eyes, using every one of them, and I'm running wild because I'm back. Yes, I'm
I thought
back.
that you really
Yes,
back in
I'm
black.
back. Back in black. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey,
Hey,
hey, hey,
you
hey.
realize now I'm gonna put that on your tombstone instead,
Just the lyrics
just to piss you off.
of Back in Black.
While I was peeing, I painted my nails black. Look at it. While I was
There you
peeing.
go. So you
Yeah,
so
killing it.
so you hit the sack and been too long. You're glad. Anyway, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So back to the movie where they just gave Jesse Pinkman about 4 characters' death scenes.
Yes, they did, and the movie is still going.
Yeah, yeah. We got about 27 minutes left. They got their knives like Michael Myers. They run into Sadie and Krug, who are cuddling, and Justin pointing the gun at them. Dad sneaks over to get the gun. Dad shoots Sadie. Sadie jumps on his back while Krug starts throwing furniture, and Krug jumps out the window. Well, Sadie locks herself in the bathroom, and Sadie pulls down the shower rod, which I guess was also Chekhov's. Chekhov has a lot of things in this film.
Yes,
He
we'd
left
like to
all
thank
his
Anton
shit.
Chekhov.
He left all of his shit in this fucking movie.
Yes, he did. He did. He just left. And that's the country house that the seagull was written at.
Yeah.
The house on the right.
So Dad is now fighting topless Sadie.
Yeah, I love that she's fighting topless. That makes me happy.
You know, Krug walks in. It would have if the movie felt less exploitative earlier.
That is true.
Like, it doesn't
That is
feel
true.
like a natural place for her to be doing it. It just feels like, hey, let's see if we can get her boobs more in the movie.
So silly.
You know, because that's the thing. There's a lot of nudity in our stuff, but it's always where it makes sense. A lot of this felt like, hey, let's see how we can get,
Do you mind just taking your top off for this one take?
yeah, like a lot of it just felt like that. But so Justin tries to help, but Sadie knocks him in the bathtub, and Mom shoots Sadie while Krug takes it out on kitchen drawers. And
Makes sense.
Dad runs to the boat. Mom rummages through drawers. Justin runs in. Dad stalks around the house with a fireplace poker. And Mom is marrying the boat. Hang on, sweetheart. We might have to do this a different way. And Dad challenges Krug to come out.
How do we have to do this a different way? Anally. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go. That's what's going to happen. Anal combat.
For God. For God.
Yes. The way they do it in the Appalachians. So.
Hey.
So
my blast on you, sir. I got more.
Yeah, I'll blast you. And Krug points out that Emma is at the lake. You two playing a desperate escape at sea, huh? And Dad strikes out where Krug is not, and I wonder why Krug is taunting if he's actually trying to escape.
Yeah, they very much were just like, it's like the director gave very convoluted direction and they took the best take that they gave because the actor didn't know how to take that direction because it didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
there's 5 different motivations going on here. Just pick 2.
Meanwhile, Krug is like, you want to hear what I did to Mary? I bet you do, pervert. You want to hear how tight your little homecoming queen was? And
oh yeah,
Dad being like, no, I want to hear you beg for your fucking life. And I'm like, dude, like, no one talks like that.
You know what we didn't talk about is the what is it? The bookcase. I need to go back and talk about the bookcase very quickly.
Okay.
The bookcase right before this is so I feel like you and I have actually just talked about this, that it's so obviously styrofoam or particle board.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no splinters when it breaks, and it just really bothered me. Anyway.
Yeah. So Justin's behind him. He cocks the gun. Justin pulls the trigger, but it's empty. And then Justin gets impaled in the fireplace poker. And Dad hits him with a fire extinguisher. And they knock out Krug. There's triumphant music because Krug is knocked out. Shots of dead Jesse. Shots of dead Sadie. Shots of Mary waking up. Beautiful shots of Dad taking Mary out in the boat. Mom hugging her.
It's a time for a boat ride, kid.
Yep, Justin's. They're going to
CVS.
They're going to CVS. That's where they're going to fix up Mary. They're going to buy bandages. They're going to buy bandages at CVS. So
I love my father so much.
Yes. So Justin's Dr. Dad.
Yes, he is. He is.
Yeah, there you go. Justin's with them because sure, let's adopt the kid who started this whole mess.
This is Justin's fault.
Yeah, like why exactly are they like, hey, Justin's part of the family now? His
Yeah, that's
his
fucking weird.
dad raped my little girl, but it wasn't him, so now we welcome him.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we see shots of the water, then cut to shots of flesh being cut with a box cutter. Establishing shot of the house. Krug wakes up. Dad is over him. He can't move. What? Oh, hello? Chelsea?
Nothing.
Okay. Hello?
I'm right here. Yeah, I'm right here.
You froze for a minute and I was hearing my own voice. I was wondering what was going on.
Oh no.
Yeah. So Dad says you're paralyzed from the neck down, and he didn't have any rope or duct tape. He has a microwave though, and he puts Krug's head in the microwave and turns it on. You're gonna be, yeah. Krug's head cooks and then actually explodes because once again, there's no lawsuits in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to credits with pictures of the house once again on the right.
Devastating.
Yeah, you know what? My old apartment where I had shitty roommates and everyone there sucked. I do have to say it was always fun for me whenever I would like be in an Uber or something to tell them that it was the last house on the left because it literally was. It was the last house on the street on the block, and it was the one on the left. So it was always fun for me.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I can imagine like younger Charles being like, "Ooh, nice house on left," just like, but internally excited about it.
So this was, like I said, so that was the movie. We managed to just cover like 27 minutes in like 3 or something like that. So I'm very proud of us.
Yeah, no, it was all you. That was all your brilliant work. I was
Yeah.
just like, yep, movie should be over now. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like that all went 27 fucking minutes. That should not have been a half an hour. All of that,
Mhm.
you know. So, but yeah, that was the. You know, like I said, I didn't hate this. I don't. There's a lot I did not like about it, but I didn't hate it. Like it's not like The Wicker Man or RoboCop.
Yeah.
You know, so the rights to Last House on the Left were picked up by Rogue Pictures in 2006, with the remake being the first film produced by Craven's newly formed studio Midnight Pictures. Craven, who wrote and directed the original film, was interested to see what kind of film could be made in a larger budget. As the limited funds forced him to remove scenes he had wanted to film to tell a complete story. While the elements Iliadis, whatever, wanted to avoid with the film, given its graphic nature, was turning into torture porn. For Craven and Iliadis, the film primarily illustrates how even the most normal of families can be driven to commit evil acts if pushed too far. And the original script included elements of the supernatural, which prompted the studio to reject it and bring in Ellsworth for rewrites. And it was shot in Cape Town, apparently. Eli Roth was originally approached to direct it, as he had attempted to get a remake of Last House on the Left off the ground years prior. But then he turned it down on advice from Quentin Tarantino to film Hostel 2 instead. And Dennis Iliadis was eventually chosen because the producers were impressed with his debut feature, Hardcore, which explored the world of teenage prostitution. And the idea of keeping Mary alive was so that there would be a ticking clock for the parents to get their daughter to the hospital.
Yeah. Okay. So to raise the stakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ellsworth changed.
Not a bad movie.
Yeah. Are you hearing me like right away? Because it feels like there's a delay. Yeah.
No, there's definitely a delay, but we're rolling with it.
Okay. So Craven pointed out that early suggested that Krug have a son who commits suicide, but found it more interesting to see this strange Romeo and Juliet thing happening between Justin and Mary. He also stated he likes the fact that John Conwood is a doctor who actually gets to use his skills in the film, unlike the original, where the character is merely identified as being a doctor. They wanted to avoid casting a superficially sexy actress in the role of Mary, because he did not want the rape scene to appear enjoyable to the viewers in any possible way. They said Sarah Paxton's audition was good, but it was in this sense of intelligence and intensity that Paxton brought her in. They said they brought her in because she had an innocent face. Um, and finally, in response to seeing how some of these scenes were affecting the women on set, the producers sent the 3 female characters to a spa for the weekend. Characters, spa.
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Good.
and basically, yeah, I think that's all the notes I have. So, how long is there really this like big delay
Yes,
right
guys,
now?
I think there's some kind of weird delay going
Hmm.
on. I think there is. Yeah, it's storming here. That must be
Oh,
what it
okay,
is.
that would explain it. Well, yeah, so that was
Yeah.
Last House on the Left. That
Phone.
would explain it.
I can hop on my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our last. I mean, you could, if you want to do that. We'll just cut right to it. So, yeah, if you notice the video changing on Chelsea's side, that's why. Okay. 1 second. All right, everybody. Yeah, so that was just a brief little problem with the storm, but
It's a twister.
so I hope it's not a twister near you. That would be awful.
No, that'd be really awful. I live on the water.
Yeah.
Yes, no, so that's Last House on the Left, which you probably already said, but I don't know about because there was a 10-second delay on my end.
So that was also the last movie of our remakes and their originals. You know, there are other movies we could have done, but we didn't want the theme to go on forever. So that was the last one of that. We're gonna go to another theme that we'll tell you about in just a minute. But first, Chelsea, where can people find you?
You can find me not on my laptop, apparently. You can find me at Chelsea.LeSage on Instagram. And where can they find you, Charles?
I can be found at charles.d.lincoln on Instagram. You can also go to my Patreon at patreon.com/CharlesDLincoln, one word.
Yeah,
And
I'm on Cameo too.
mhm.
Yes. Cameo Chelsea cameo.com/Chelsea LeSage. Yes.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is edit to the first 10 people who subscribe to the new $10 tier we're going to put up. Not our next phase, but the phase after. The first 10 people will be able to name a movie that we will cover.
It's true.
Yeah, so if you contribute, you will be able to name a movie, and we'll mention you, and you'll get a whole episode out of it. So yeah, so that'll be fun.
But
and
this next season.
Well, wait, you can find us together.
Oh yeah, together. At Steel Squared Productions on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. We're everywhere.
Yes, exactly. So, yes, we're gonna do, you know, a little. I don't know. We're gonna get a little more colorful for our next season. Just simply because I don't know. It seemed like a fun theme to do, and so we're gonna go and we're gonna cover. And I'm sure some people are gonna hate it, some people love it. But you know what? If you love us, we're gonna make it interesting anyway, even if you hate these. We're gonna cover rock operas. We're gonna cover 10 fucking rock operas.
Well, Chelsea, I got into musical theater doing rock opera, so it's just Charles is like making the musical theater Chelsea very happy.
Yes. Because Charles has always been kind of like a you know, a weird, like I said, I used to sing Modern Major General to practice like my vocal speed as a death metal vocalist.
Right.
So, you know, there's all sorts of fun things that go on in musicals, and you know, there's so many fun ones out there. And we're gonna start. Originally, I was gonna start with one I hadn't seen, but I think we're gonna start with just, you know, let's get it right out there. We are going to start because, you know, Zydrate comes in a little glass vial, and got Chelsea. Did you?
I'm right.
You didn't say the line. I said Zydrate comes in a little glass vial.
I don't remember the line.
Okay, well then I guess we can't do the line, so it's not going to be our next movie. So instead, we're going to we're gonna cover Phantom of the Paradise, which I have never seen.
Great.
And
me neither.
I've never seen it. People always tell it. Actually, you know what? That's a lie, because it's one of the things. where when you like have something on TV and you know that you have like 190-degree fever or some shit,
Yes.
and so you see pictures of it and you're like, oh, I know I've seen that image,
But you were dying.
but I have no memory of this film whatsoever. So people kept telling me about it. Like,
Oh!
yes. And we're like, I'm very surprised you've never seen Phantom of the Paradise. So I will actually, Chelsea and I will sit down to watch Phantom of the Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the first of our 10 rock operas that we will cover. It wasn't a rock. It was a rock opera.
Yes.
So, yeah. So tune in next week for that. And you know what?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, go watch it yourself, because then it's like, you'll have more fun when we talk about this movie that from everything I've seen is just weird as shit. And just another example of people in the 70s doing tons and tons of drugs, and then let's make a movie. So,
Yep.
So we want to thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you to Baja Blast.
Yes. And we also want to thank, as I said, go to my Patreon. The first 10 people to contribute to the $10 tier will be able to tell us what movie we'll cover in our next phase.
Yes.
And the only rule, we literally only have like 2 rules here. It can't be porn. So no telling us to go watch 2 Girls, 1 Cup or something like that, or which is also my name for AEW.
Jesus Christmas.
Because they only have 2 women. They only have like 1 women's match a week. So
of course. I know.
Yeah, and
it's in a pile of poop.
Yes, and and it can't be a movie we've seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, pretty much, it's wide open. You could, fucking tell us to, it has to be over.
Well,
70.
how are these people going to know that it's a movie you haven't seen before?
Because they'll have to look through the previous episodes to see
That's
if
true.
it's one of the episodes.
That's true.
And it has to be longer than 70 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be like, hey, this random short film that came out in 1984, review. No, that's not going to be an episode. So.
And Sleeping Beauty cannot be an episode either, because it's Walt Disney's shortest feature film at 57 minutes long.
There you go. I didn't know it was that short.
It's that short.
Yeah, well, there you go. So no Sleeping Beauty. All right. So, I will. We're glad to have had you as listeners for now 61 fucking episodes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so we will see you next week with Phantom of the Paradise.
Yes, he's there, the Phantom of the Paradise. Okay, bye guys.
Is that from the thing?
No, it's from Phantom of the Opera, just really poorly sung.
Okay. Or the country version, the Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry. So,
yeah.
All right.
Well,
anyway, everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.